Good morning. So I got up a little bit early this morning, got in the shower, and was waiting for breakfast. And I had some extra time before they started serving, so I figured I would start walking the Kennicott mine site. And it's kind of nice being here with this much light this early in the morning, and nobody's here yet. So it's like I have it all to myself, and I just sort of wanted to capture my walking through it, heading back towards the lodge, because it is really spectacular. Starts off with these amazing mountains, which I posted some yesterday. I'll be heading down. This is going north roughly to go to the Root Glacier later. Incredible mountain right in view. If I move a little over this way, look at that. Beautiful snow-capped peak. Amazing. Working here back in the day over 100 years ago, I mean, it was probably hard work, as I would imagine, and dangerous work, but at least you had an amazing place to live and work every day. There was a railroad that used to come through here after they mined the copper and would take it out of town. So I think that's kind of what they're trying to reconstruct here. And actually the McCarthy Road that I rode in on yesterday is where that old rail line used to be. Whenever the town closed up very suddenly because the copper ran out, the people that stayed, made sure that they still had access to the outside world, so they tore up those railroad lines and just pushed them off to the side and made McCarthy Road. So I think that's one of the reasons why it is such a hazardous road sometimes, because there's still remnants of that, the train spikes and all that. And I don't think that's as big of an issue now from what I saw yesterday on the way in, but some of the buildings, they're working on trying to get them back up to par. Some of them are being used for exhibits. It's the mine, processing area. Some of it's in pretty rough shape. But it's really cool because, whenever this mine closed and people were basically told, hey, time to go, on very short notice, a lot of things were just left where they were, including in the homes. So it's kind of like a snapshot in time, how I see it. It's like, just imagine this place processing the copper from the mines up in the mountains 100 years ago. I mean, some of these buildings, you can tell they're in somewhat rough shape. Yeah, but right through here, the train would have come through to load up the copper. Considering the harsh Alaskan weather year-round, it's actually probably kind of a miracle that anything survived this long. It's like, I know the Park Service is working on stabilizing and trying to restore some of these buildings, so eventually, you know, there will be a lot more that, you know, you can go into and explore, but this site here kind of says it all. You know, the whole thing just collapsed, and you kind of notice that all the buildings are this red color. I think it's the same color than what they were before. I don't think it's the original paint though. But if you kind of look in some of these buildings, you can still see stuff that was just left there. Chains and pipes and tubes, and some of the mechanical stuff is still all in there. Great view of the Kennicott Glacier. Has quite a bit of rock and debris on top of it, so it doesn't look like an ice glacier, but there is ice under there. These are the one there in the middle. Looks like it's actually in somewhat decent shape. It might have been restored. The other ones, not so much. They've seen better days. There's a lovely creek flowing between them. Alright, so I am nearing the end of, you know, the historical park, because now there's some other buildings down towards the lodge that have wilderness guide offices and a general store, and yeah, so just took you on a 8+ minute journey through some amazing history.